Good evening, dear students. Suraj this side, and we have with us CA Supriya Samant, our expert mentor. She has been mentoring a lot of students in their professional journey, especially focusing on the chartered accountancy course. And as we know, from next week onwards, we have our examination. We will be stressed, tensed, time management, forgetting things, this, that. So many questions are there, and Supriya ma'am is here to address all of those. And she has been doing these sessions even in western western region of the CA Institute. So there also she has been continuously doing it. So make maximum use of this session. And over to you, Supriya ma'am. I'll not take much of time. So I'll just give you the.
Thank you, Suraj sir, for the lovely introduction. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good evening, students. Hi, everybody. Hi, Sai Akshit. Hi, Harsha. Hello, everybody. Okay, so before I start with the session. I'm not going to take a lot of time. I know this time is very, very precious. So I just want you all to write on the YouTube chat, then on that on a scale of 1 to 10, how stressed are you? Okay, if you are very, very stressed, you can give it a 9, 10. If you are, maybe little less stressed, you can give it a lower rating, maybe a 3 or 4. So I want you to quickly rate that how stressed are you currently? Yes. Okay, so I've started getting the responses. Good evening, Murli. Good evening, Harsha, some other Harsha. Yes. Can you all quickly tell me? Yes. Okay, so I see different ratings. Okay, fine. So what I can tell you all is, what I can tell you is for the next half an hour, if you pay complete attention to what I'm going to tell you, it's going to help you reduce your stress levels drastically, right? So I'm going to give you very, very easy tips which are going to help you reduce all your stress and anxiety and help you be much more calmer and focused. So is everybody with me? Let me just see the comments. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so I'm going to start sharing my screen without taking much of the time, right? So let's start. Okay, somebody's telling me 7, 9. Okay, Sai Akshit is saying because practical papers are an issue. Somebody's saying 3 out of 5. So I can say on an average, the stress levels are around 7. So we'll try to help you, be in a better state of mind and help you to focus more on your studies and less, of your mind on all the negativity and worrying about the outcome, right? So let's begin. Okay. So let me just quickly tell you what exactly is going to happen. Just in short, I'm going to cover few points. Basic focus, what is going to help you focus really well. Exams are hardly 6 to 7 days away, and then you have your papers beginning. Second is what causes stress, what is causing stress in this entire period, right? Next is 7 tips for effective last phase preparation. After that, techniques to manage stress. So very, very simple techniques which are going to help you be stress-free, right? And last is Q&A. So then we'll be discussing all the queries, all the doubts that you have. Yes? So all with me? Okay, so let's begin. So when I talk about stress, what is the first and foremost thing that comes to your mind? What is the first thing? Where does the stress come in your mind, right? So today, let's meet your mind. So, none of us have seen the mind. So what we'll do is, let's make this rectangle your mind, your Mr. Mind. And currently, you are doing many, many things. Reading, listening, studying, checking WhatsApp, worrying, daydreaming. Yes? So Why is there so much stress in your mind? Let's understand that. Okay. Now imagine that, whichever is the last movie you watched, a very, very interesting movie, but not a thriller, maybe a comedy or a romantic movie, which you really liked watching. Now you tell me one thing, how much part of your mind was focusing on the process and how much of it was on the outcome? How much were you thinking about what would happen, right? Very little. You were completely enjoying the movie and, completely there. Am I audible and are you understanding what I'm trying to tell you, right? So when you were watching a movie, your mind was completely there, and what will happen in the end, you were least bothered. Now let's think about when your mind is preparing for the exams. What happens when your mind is preparing for the exams? Focus on process is very, very little, and focus on outcome is more, right? You're busy thinking what would be the results, then what would be the pass percentage, what will actually happen. So what is happening is focus on process is lesser than focus on outcome, and that is what is causing the stress. So basically, stress arises during exam because only half of your mind is focused on the process. Rest of it is very, very busy thinking about the outcome. Now, to give you a very, very simple example, now imagine there is a car race, but you have the most fancy car, but your car engine is running at half of its capacity, right? So what will happen? Obviously, you will not perform well. Similarly, your mind is currently running at, I'm not saying half, but maybe 50%, because half of your mind is busy thinking about all the things that might happen. And this is a major cause of stress, right? So here is what we need to do to reduce stress, right? The focus on process should be really, really high, right? And focus on outcome is something which has to be lesser. Now, see, to think of it, process is something which is in your hands, right? How you're going to prepare in these balanced days and how you're going to write your papers is in your hand. What the outcome is going to be is not in your hand, right? So what you need to focus more is focus on the process, and that is the ideal state of the mind, right? Ideal state of mind before the exams. Don't worry, I'm going to tell you how you reduce focus on outcome and how you increase it towards focusing on the process. So now what ideally you need to do is use the remaining time to focus more on the study process and reduce focus on what will be the outcome, right? Okay. So first, to help you increase the focus on the process, first let me give you some tips which are going to help you be more focused on getting the process right. And then second part, I'm going to give you very, very simple techniques which will help you be more and more calm, composed, and more stress free, right? Okay, so let's begin. Now 7 tips for this last phase that you're going to do and your exam days. First and foremost, I want you all to have your 1.5 days planned well. Now, what I mean by 1.5 days, once you're done with the paper, you get that evening, right? Then you get the next whole day and the exam morning. So except the first paper where you get more time, where you can give in 2 to 3 days, rest of the days, you need to have them planned really well, right? If you have written a mock exactly on exam alternate, each exam alternate day, well and good. If you have not written, it's okay. But at least you have those 1.5 days planned very, very well. Second, you may do so how do you plan these 1.5 days? You may do the easy chapters in the evening. So once you're back from a paper, you can do things which are simpler, because anyways you'll be a little exhausted after the paper, right? Next day you can keep for the important chapters which have a lot of weightage and which are very long and lengthy and which are very important. Another important thing is, once you are back from the paper, right? Please stop thinking about what happened in the paper. So maybe your traveling time, you think, but once you're back and you have to move on to the next paper, because these 1.5 days are extremely, extremely crucial, right? So far, everybody is with me? Okay. Third, now in the balance days, please don't do anything new. So the chapters which you've not done, don't try to do it now. Now you are just going to do revisions. Nothing new at this point of time, only revisions, right? Whatever you have done, you ensure that you're revising that. Now, fourth, very important, it is not possible for you to cover everything in the revision phase. It's not possible, right? You should have your important things marked, right? Your important markings in place. And you need to trust yourself that whatever you have studied, only going through what you have marked, you will still be able to apply your knowledge and answer the paper. And at this point, believing in yourself and in your preparation is extremely, extremely crucial. Next, using reading time well, right? So you ensure one thing, you reach much before time, right? You give yourself time to cool down. What you have to do once you reach the exam hall, how you cool yourself down, I'm going to talk in the next part. But at least some time before reach the exam hall, don't talk to others, don't compare yourself with others, no last minute discussion. Once you reach the exam hall, just stop studying. You should stop once you leave your home, right? And once you are at the examination hall, be completely there, right? Relax yourself. And then once you get your papers, use your reading time very, very well, right? So first you need to always attempt whatever you know really, really well. So make sure you have it in place, like you've used the time well and you know what is the order that I'm going to get into, right? Next, ICAI, one paper, one of each subject is going to be very, very difficult. So that is something which is taken for granted, right? So what I want you to do is, in such a case, what you need to first ensure is, in your reading time, you ensure that whatever you know very, very well, you do that, right? You mark that and you finish scoring your first 50 marks and then solve the balance questions. So one paper is going to be difficult. That is something which is implied. So please make sure that you ensure that you're sure of the 50 marks, and then you can attempt the balance questions, right? And very important, if a paper is difficult, don't give up on the other papers. See, it happened with me when I was giving my intern, my PCC at that time. My first paper was very, very difficult. And then after that, I just completely gave up the hope, right? But I cleared in that first paper. If I would have been in a good state of mind and I would have given all the papers, I would have cleared in that attempt, right? So even if the first paper is difficult, any paper is difficult, what you have to do is you ensure you score your 50, right? And then try to cover up in the other papers. So what is very important, that you're using the uh, um, reading time really, really well, you're strategizing well, and your mind at that time is just thinking of how I'm going to solve the paper, not about the outcome, not about other papers, nothing else, just ensuring that those 3 hours, 15 minutes that I get, I am going to use it really, really well, right? So these are the 7 things which will help you to prepare in this phase and to time your, ensure that your exam days are planned really well. So again, I'm repeating, if you have not made your 1.5 days plan, please make a plan so that your actual exam days, you're very comfortable. You know what is the order that you're going to get into. Second, you have your markings in place. So these 2 things are extremely, extremely important, right? Okay, now as I told you, we are going to move on to the second part. That is, how do we reduce focus on outcome? So today is 25th. From today to the last day of the paper, what I want you to do is simply focus on getting the process right. So ensure that you're using these last few days really well and just focusing on writing your papers well. What I want is each one of you on the last day of your paper, you are completely satisfied that I gave my best. Outcome, you don't know. It will be favorable, but what you need to ensure is you are very, very satisfied that you have given your last paper sorry, you've given all the papers really well, and you are satisfied that I put in my best efforts, right? Now, how do we ensure that we reduce focus on outcomes, thinking about all the negative things that might happen, and that takes away all your precious time and mental energy? So there are three things which I'm going to discuss with you. One is known as the 5-4-3-2-1 exercise. Two, it's a breathing technique known as the spinal breathing technique to help you calm yourself. And third is the daily attention exercise. So we'll discuss each of these. These are not time consuming. These are not difficult. But what I can tell you is once you do them, it will help you reduce your stress levels to a great extent, right? So basically, how you reduce focus on outcome is you consciously break the thought pattern of worrying about outcomes, fears, right? So whenever you find yourself facing stress, worry, anxiety, try any of these three techniques. These are very simple techniques which will help you reduce focus on the outcome, right? And help you increase the focus on the process, right? Okay. Now, the first technique that I'm going to talk about. Okay, I know a lot of you are sending me a lot of queries. I'm going to address each one of them after I'm done with this, right? So let's now focus on the spinal breathing technique. So what I'll do is I'll first explain it to you, and then I'm going to make you do it, because I know currently you are in a very, very stressed out phase. So let me do it with you, right? Let me do it at this point of time. So what you have to do, what is spinal breathing is, basically you imagine that you're inhaling and you're breathing in. The breath is going from the beginning of your spine to the very end. You're holding on for a few seconds, and from the end of the spine to the beginning, you exhale. So see, currently it is just on imagination. At this stage, you will not be able to feel your breath going from the beginning of the spine to the end, right? So I'll do this technique with you now. See, this technique is really, really going to help you, one, in your examination hall. So as I told you, when you reach your examination hall, be there sometime before. Help yourself to be very calm and relaxed. First, you can take few deep breaths, and then you do the spinal breathing technique. What will happen is, after that, you will be more calm, composed, and the more, the heartbeat being normal and the more calmer you are, the better you will be able to attempt your exam, right? So spinal breathing technique is a very, very effective technique. So as I told you, what you have to do is you have to breathe in, you have to imagine you're beginning to breathe from the beginning of your spine to the very end. Hold on for a few seconds, and then exhalation from the end of the spine to the very beginning. Now, let me tell you one more thing. This spinal breathing is also very useful. Uh, nowadays, I know you all are very stressed out, and falling asleep at night is a big issue. So you can use this technique at that point of time also, right? So you can do the spinal breathing technique just before sleeping. It will help you relax your mind and fall asleep. Okay. So let's do the spinal breathing with you. Okay. So first, as I'm going to say one, I want you to inhale. And as I say two, I want you to exhale. So when you inhale from the beginning of your spine to the very end. And when you exhale from the end of your spine to the very beginning. So this is just imagination. So let's start with this exercise. Okay. First, I want you to take 5 to 6 deep breaths, right? So just take 5 to 6 deep breaths. Okay. Now, when I say one, I want you to inhale. And when I say two, I want you to exhale. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, I'll wait for a few seconds and then I want you all to tell me how is it that you're feeling at this point of time. Yes? Are you all with me? Actually, I'm not getting any responses. I think there's some error. Just give me a minute. Okay, fine. Now, the second technique that I'm going to talk about is known as the 5-4-3-2-1 technique, right? So the first technique that I told you was the spinal breathing technique, right? So the spinal breathing technique, I'll just repeat. You have to do it before sleeping. Second, when you enter the exam hall, it's going to reduce your anxiety levels to great extent. Okay. Now, the 5-4-3-2-1 technique is something that is going to help you break your negative thought chain, right? So when you feel that you are in a very, very negative state of mind and you are not able to, focus on studies, 5-4-3-2-1 is a great technique. Okay, I got all the chat messages now. I was not getting them. So Sajita is saying that she's feeling very relaxed. Even Sibi is saying that great. Okay, Nipul is also saying that I'm glad. Murli is also saying that he liked it. So great, great. So as I told you, spinal breathing when you're there in your exam hall and every day before falling asleep. Now, second technique that I'm going to tell you is 5-4-3-2-1. Right now, what is 5-4-3-2-1 technique? 5-4-3-2-1 is using your five senses. So how it helps you is when you do the 5-4-3-2-1 technique, because you're using all your five senses, it helps you break your negative thought chain, right? So you can also, imagine you're studying, then you took a break. Now you want to get back to studies, but your mind is all over the place. Then what you can do is you can quickly do the 5-4-3-2-1 technique. It will help you get all, come back to the present moment and help you reduce the negative thought clutter that you are having. So it's a very, very simple thing. First, what you have to do is observe any five things around you, right? Five things that you can see. So you can, it could be as small as a crack on a wall. You observe one thing, hold on for a few seconds, and then move on to the next, right? So that is the first thing. Five things that you can see. Second, four things that you can feel. So what I mean by feel, what, like, where you're sitting, what you're wearing, what is the sense of touch that you get? That is four things that you can feel, the fourth part. Three things that you can hear. What are the sounds that you can currently hear? Any sounds that you're able to hear. maybe horns honking, fan sound, or in the morning, maybe bird sound if you're doing it in the morning, right? So what are the three sounds that I'm able to hear? Two smell that I'm getting, any smell that you're that is around you, two things that you can smell, and any one thing that you can taste. So five things you can see, four things you can feel, three things you can hear, and two things you can smell. And last is, if there is any taste in your mouth, one thing you can taste. So as I told you, this is something that helps you be come back to the present moment and reduce all the thoughts that you had. Very effective. After studying, when you take a break and you're not able to come back to study, it's very quick way of getting all your attention back to the present moment. Yes. So two techniques I told you all, very simple ones. One, spinal breathing. Two, 5 4 3 2 1 technique. Right now, the third thing that I'm going to do is I am going to play this for you. Right, I'm going to make you do it. So I want you all to be with me. Do this. Yes. So just listen to this and do it with me. Let's start.
Welcome to your daily attention exercise. The purpose of this exercise is to help you cultivate mastery over your attention and increase the steadiness of your mind. Find a calm and silent place in your house. Sit in a comfortable position with your back upright and breathe casually. Take a few deep breaths and relax. Now, let's begin with the 5 4 3 2 1 exercise. In the next 2 to 3 minutes, move your attention slowly, one by one. 5 things you can see, 4 sensations, 3 sounds you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste at this moment. Start paying attention to your breath. Breathe naturally. Do not control your breath. Just notice the act of breathing. Notice it again as it leaves your body. Keep doing this for some more time. as you notice your breath. Slowly zoom in your attention to the sensations at the tip of your nostrils. Notice the sensations as you breathe in, and notice them again as you breathe out. In case your attention wavers, gently bring it back to the tip of the nostril. Every single time you do this, your willpower muscle grows strong. If thoughts arise, let them come. Do not try to stop them. Acknowledge them the way you acknowledged an innocent 3-year-old asking for your attention. And bring your attention back to the breath. Thoughts may come and go. Just the way clouds will pass to stop. Let them pass. Now, let's move to the rhythmic breathing exercise. Soon you will hear a ticking sound. Use 6 counts for inhalation. Pause for 1 count. 6 counts for exhalation. And again, pause for 1 count. Keep the cycle for the next 4 minutes. Now, take a few deep and slow breaths and just pay attention to how you're feeling at this moment. Notice how your mind is quieter than when we started. We have now come to the end of today's exercise. Practicing this exercise at least twice daily will help you become calmer and also help increase your ability to stay focused. Do not abandon the exercise in between. See the results over time. Have a great day ahead.
Okay. So what I want you all to do is I want you to do the daily attention exercise every single day, right? 15 minutes, you need to give your mind some time out, right? Your mind is doing so much, it needs some relaxation. So any time of the day when you're feeling very, very exhausted, you're not able to study, this is a very, very effective exercise which will help you be in a calmer and in a more composed state of mind. See, currently, now you all are prepared. You've done everything, right? Now, the only thing you need to ensure is you are in a calm, composed state of mind and you are able to apply your knowledge. And that can only happen when your mind is free of all the negativities, basically stress, worrying. I know at this stage it's not possible to be completely free of it, but these techniques are going to help you reduce it to a great extent, right? So do the daily attention exercise every day. You can do it on exam days. If you think exam days it's not possible to spare those 15 minutes, you can at least do it on the alternate days when you have the time off. Like you get the break, right? One day off. That time you do the daily attention. So I will highly recommend that you should do it to give your mind some breathing time, some time to just relax and just be free from all the mental clutter. So did you all like the daily attention? Are you all feeling much more calm and composed? Is it helping you? Yes? Okay, I'm getting Murli saying, okay, I hope it's helped the others also. And now I am open to the questions. So now any questions, any doubts you all have, you all are very, very close to exams. The techniques I have tried to give you are very, very simple, very easy, which you can easily follow. And it's going to help you reduce your anxiety to great extent. Any questions at this point of time? Any of you wish to ask me? Anything? Any questions? Okay. Uh, Ralia is saying yes, it helped. Insta Trends is saying yes. I'm glad it's helping you all. So see, anyways, this is on YouTube, so you can just listen to it and do it every single day, right? That's why I've given this. So you'll Sajita, you will have it on YouTube, right? You can just put your headphones on for better sound quality. You can just listen to this. This video is going to be there, right? So you just go to this video and you can do the daily attention exercise every single day, right? Okay. Any doubts? Any questions? Anything you all didn't understand? Anything you want me to explain to you? Please let me know. Okay. You're welcome, Sajita. Anybody, anything else that you all want to ask me? Anything? Yes, any questions? Okay. So Sai Akshit, you're saying that practical exams are very difficult, right? How to face practical papers. See, at this point of time, what I can say is you have to ensure first, you have to trust yourself that whatever you've studied, now you are going to be able to write the answers, you're able to apply the knowledge, right? Practical papers, if it is something very difficult, what you should do is, as I told you, you have your strategy in place. You will have your very, very strong chapters and weak chapters. So ensure, in your reading time, you are planning your paper really well, wherein you ensure that whatever is very difficult, whatever is very easy, and you know that, yes, I'm going to get, I'm surely going to score in this. You finish that first, and later on, you do the difficult part, right? So ensure whatever you know is going to get you those marks. You first finish up that, and then go to the more difficult part. And Sai Akshit, so at this point of time, as I told you, just first thing, have faith that whatever you studied, you will be able to remember and apply your knowledge and write. Second, whatever you have marked, just do that at this stage, nothing new. So just revise whatever you have marked is very, very important. So don't do anything new at this stage. Whatever you've done, just revise it thoroughly, right? Ensure, and be rest assured that whatever markings you've made, those are the right ones, and just stick to that. Next question is Mohammed is asking. Mohammed is asking that he reads a lot, but he's not able to remember. Right. So, Mohammed, what I'm trying to tell you is, you might feel that you're not remembering everything, but if you have done multiple revisions, you will be able to remember and apply your knowledge. What you need to ensure is, at this phase, whatever you've done, you revise it well. As I told you, 1.5 days, you use them well. Whatever you think is very, very important and you've marked, you make sure you have gone through it, and rest of it you will be able to remember and write. So this is just that you're getting very anxious and worried. Don't worry, you will be able to remember if you've done ample revisions, and just revise now. Whatever you've marked is very, very important. Don't do anything new, whatever you've done before. So if some chapter you've not touched, leave it now. Don't do it at this stage, right? Whatever you have marked and whatever you've done, just keep revising that. Okay. Raja Goda is asking, do we need to waste time in exercise and meditation? See, let me tell you one thing. In exams, what is very important is your state of mind is very calm and composed. See, if my mind is full of all the negative things, even if I know things, right? If I'm very, very worried, even if I know things, I will make mistakes. There are two things. Either you're very confident. If you're very confident, you tend to make silly mistakes. When you're underconfident, right, even the simplest things appear very, very difficult, and you're not able to apply your knowledge. So that is why I put in so much emphasis on doing something. Maybe if you don't want to do the daily attention exercise or the techniques which I told you, I'm okay, but just give yourself 5 minutes, give your mind some time out every day for it to relax, because currently it's being used so much, right? Even it needs some time to relax. Second, please ensure that you all are sleeping well. One more very, very important thing, exam days also you get 7 hours of sleep, because your mind needs that rest and relaxation. So Raja Guda, it's absolutely your choice. So, but I will highly advise that at least 5 minutes, if nothing, just focus on your breath in and out. Just inhale, if nothing more, right? Next is Mohammed. He's saying that he took 8 to 10 days to revise. How can he revise that in 1.5 days? So that is what I'm telling you, Mohammed. You cannot do everything now. Now you have to have, I hope you have already marked what is very, very important, and what is always some things which always come in the papers which you have to do. So now at this stage, you have to just do things which are extremely important. It's not possible for you to cover each and every line, each and every sentence, right? So whatever you've marked, only that has to be done. That is the way you'll cover your 1.5, this portion in 1.5 days. And if you have not planned, please do that planning. It is extremely crucial at this point of time. You should know what you're doing in the evening once you're back from a paper. the next whole morning that you get, the next whole day that you get, and the exam morning. This has to be planned really, really well with the markings in place. Okay, Santi Priya is asking that she doesn't remember anything. Right, don't worry, you will be able to remember. This is just your last minute anxiety and nervousness. That's why I told you, please do things which relax your mind. The more calm and composed you are, the lesser your mind is from all this negativity and all the clutter, the more you will be able to apply your knowledge. What so many months of hard work is not going to go waste. Just ensure you're calm and composed, and all these days you are studying really well and putting in your best efforts. Don't worry, you will remember in the exams, right? Murli, yeah, welcome, welcome. I hope all these tips and all these techniques helped you all. You all, as I told you, this video is going to be there. So anytime you want to refer to the daily attention exercise or the spinal breathing of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or any of the tips which I told you, you can always refer to it, right? Anything else? Or should we end with today's session? Because I know time is extremely, extremely precious for you all. And just a concluding line, just have faith in yourself and in your preparation, right? And be very, very calm and composed, and trust yourself that whatever you've studied, you will be able to apply your knowledge. Okay, just one more question. Insta Trend is asking, okay, Insta Trend, I think your exam is in May 24. So what you need to do is at this stage, you need to set your priorities, right? So all your other things like your Instagram and all those K-dramas and movies, all that is going to remain the same after your attempt also. So you're not going to have any fear of missing out. So you need to ensure that you have your priority in place. You need to ensure that you know what is to be done now, what is more important, right? Sai Akshit, you are is asking that he's feeling that he cannot give both groups. See, Sai Akshit, if you have prepared really well till now, if you've done revisions, you've written papers, and this is just last minute anxiety, so I will ask you to please go ahead with both the groups, because if you've done all this, you've done your revisions, like 2 revisions, written papers, you have your markings in place, so please go ahead with both the subjects. This might be just last minute anxiety and nervousness which is causing you to think that way. Tomorrow, when you are in a calmer state of mind, just analyze and be practical. Just try to understand where you stand, right? And you think you've done revisions, written papers, and you've worked so well till now. So just go ahead with both the groups. Don't give up at this point. Gautam is asking whether you should practice law by reading more or writing more. So ideally, you need to read and also write. But at this stage, when you're very, very close to your papers, I understand you will fall short of writing time, right? So maybe you just write down the main points, because there's no time to actually, spend hours and hours on writing, because we are very close to the paper. So now you may just write down the main points to remember it better. Okay. Q is asking how to choose correct questions in 15 minutes. See, what I can tell you is some chapters are anyways your very, very strong chapters. First, you ensure that, you are attempting questions from those. So once you have figured that out, then you can start reading the questions, right? Some chapters, that maybe it's going to be very difficult or it seems very complicated. You can leave it for the end. Things that are very, very the chapters which are very strong, and then you can read the question in detail, and once you can go ahead with those questions then, right? So in those 15 minutes, first you see which chapters it come from, and first target the chapters really, really well. Okay, any more questions? Any more questions? Okay, I think we are done with all the questions. I have answered all of them. Okay, Sai Akshit is asking RTPs or MTPs, which are more important for main exam? Please don't say both having equal importance. See, what I think is by now, Sai Akshit, you must have gone through both RTP and MTP, and you must have marked whatever is very important. See, you will have some repetitive questions, you need not go through that, but things which you have marked, like, this is a different adjustment, or this is something which I don't know, you can glance through it, right? So hopefully you have gone through it once. Then at that point of time, you can do whatever is whatever you marked is important, right? So as I'm telling you again, your markings, what you have marked and what you have considered very important, stick to that. Now don't be in that panic state that how will I cover everything. You cannot. Whatever you have marked, trust yourself that is important, and rest of it, even if it comes, you will be able to apply your knowledge and write the paper. Yeah. Okay, Ralia says, thank you. Always welcome, Ralia. Uh, okay, great. So, FM Inter has been following some techniques, and it has helped him. Very good. And he's thanking me. Thank you so much. And again, all the very best for your papers. Please trust yourself at this stage. Okay, sleep well, give your mind some time out, just do some breathing exercise, meditation, anything, maybe 5-7 minutes if not more, but just ensure that you are calm and composed. Please reach the exam hall much before time. Relax, right? Ensure that before you get that exam paper in your hand, your heart is not beating fast, you're not sweating. Ensure that your mind is absolutely calm and composed, and that time you will actually be able to apply all your knowledge and write the paper well. Trust me. Yeah. It's okay, Sai Akshit. It's okay. You can just taste your saliva. This technique is just 5-4-3-2-1 technique is something which helps you helps you make yourself aware about your senses. So once you are aware of all the 5 senses, it reduces your thought process. So it's absolutely okay. Okay. Welcome everybody. All the very best. Take care. I'm not taking any more time, and just trust yourself and you all will do very well. Bye. All the best. All the very best. Welcome Sai Akshit. Welcome Insta Trends. Welcome Murli. And all of you. Welcome. All the best. Bye. Bye. Welcome. Bye.